today, what I've decided to do is make like a tutorial series on teaching C++ separate from my actual videos so that people have like a reference you can go and look at. These are going to be short 5-minute videos. They're easy to understand. I'm going to be explaining everything as we go. So to get started for today, what I'm going to start with is explaining different data types. Alright, so well, that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is just comment this out, just so the program doesn't see this. And basically to comment out like a long paragraph, you can do two ways of commenting. 2 slashes, or a slash and the star above the 8 on the keyboard. Alright, so first things first, what is a data type? A data type is a variable or a constant that is used to store something in memory. So what this means is you can take a piece of data, give it a number, some sort of value, and the computer will basically remember that. Alright, so now with each data type, they all have like different values because they're different links and stuff. So you'll see in just a second what I'm talking about. So a byte is those links. So a byte is one set of 8 binary digits. An example of that is 11010011, which is equal to 211 in a 10-digit numeric system. Alright, so now that we know what a data type is and what a byte is, I'm going to show something that I'm not necessarily going to go too in depth with right now, but it's still good to know. So first off is signed and unsigned data types. Now what signed and unsigned is basically they're positive, negative, or just positive. Alright, so the next thing is making data types a little shorter and a little longer. What I mean by this is you can make, say, an integer be a little bit longer than what it is and still use less bytes than a double, for example. Like I said, I'll get into these two later, but just for right now, basically these two are like sub data types, and they're mainly used for like optimization and stuff. Alright, so that all out of the way, let's get into the actual data types we'll be learning. So to get started, first off we have char, and a char is equal to 1 character. So why I have 2 equal signs here is because I'm saying is equal to 1 character, but that is still a little more advanced, and I will get into that later. So an example of char, a few examples for that matter, could be char ice is equal to space because it has to have 1 character, or char ice is equal to a, or char ice is equal to 123. And I don't know if it's exactly an ASCII value, but 123 could be an ASCII value, which is basically a code for like letters on your keyboard. Also, the last thing we're going to be getting into about chars before we move on to the next data type is these only take up 1 byte of storage. So it'll only take up 1 byte, which is 8 binary digits. Alright, so moving on, next up we have integers. And what an integer is any number within a certain given range that is a whole number. So right now, within given range probably doesn't make sense, but this is basically what it means. So an example of int would be int char equals 1, or int char equals any number between negative 2,147,483,648 to positive of that. So basically, an int is pretty big, but it's not that big. The next data types will be getting way bigger than this. However, ints take up 4 bytes now. So that means they'll take up 4 sets of 8 binary digits to be able to produce a number this big. Alright, so getting into the next data type, we have floats. And floats are any number within a given range that is a number, and these can be decimals. Alright, so an example of a float would be float water equals any value between 1.175494351 times 10 to the negative 38 or positive 38th power. So basically it's way bigger than an integer, but this is still relatively small. And a float still takes up 4 bytes. Alright, the next data type we're going to get into is doubles. Now doubles is when you are starting to work with really big numbers, and this is any number within the given range that is a number, and it can be a decimal. So basically it's the same thing as a float, except it's way bigger. Now an example of a double would be double fly equals any value roughly between 1.7 times 10 to the positive or negative 308 power. Now doubles are relatively way bigger than floats, so for that reason they take up 8 bytes of memory. Alright, so now on to basically the last data type, which is a bool. And a bool evaluates to either true or false, or 1 or 0. An example of a bool would be bool, the sky is blue, equals 1, because it's true. And bools are very tiny, because it's only one number, so it takes up 1 byte. Alright, so there you have it. These are some basic data types. Now, there are some more complicated ones with these incorporated, but just for the basics to get started, these are a few examples of what data types can be. So feel free to go back through the video, do whatever. If you like this video, give it a like, comment your thoughts, comment if it helps you any, and if you would like to see more programming videos and game design videos, maybe hit the subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.